You want success, recognition, results? But here's the truth nobody tells you. The work that actually builds greatness happens when no one is watching. The hours you spend grinding in silence, the habits you build without applause, the patience you exercise without validation. This is where real mastery is forged. If you want extraordinary outcomes, you must embrace the unseen years, because the world doesn't reward effort you display, it rewards results you deliver. Are you ready to invest in the work that nobody notices but everyone eventually feels? Then listen closely, your transformation starts now. Chapter 1. Your craft doesn't need witnesses. Most people spend their lives trying to prove something. They try to prove to the world that they're smart, that they're talented, that they're worthy. They chase likes, approvals, compliments, and instant validation. They want the applause before they've even built the skill. And that's where most people fail. You see, proving is easy. Doing is hard. And hard is invisible. That's the key. You have a choice. You can spend your time showing off, or you can spend your time building. You don't need anyone's permission to get better. You don't need their recognition to do your work. Real success is built quietly, day after day, in the small moments no one ever sees. This is the discipline that nobody talks about. And this is where the winners live. Let's break it down. When you focus on proving, you are letting others control your actions. You are outsourcing your confidence to opinions that don't matter. Social media, peer pressure, even friends and family, these influences can steal your focus and your momentum. Every time you seek approval, you trade your time and energy for a temporary feeling. And that feeling fades. It doesn't compound. It doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't make you better. Doing, on the other hand, compounds. Every action you take in silence, every effort you make without applause, builds invisible strength. That's the difference. You have a choice. You can chase attention or you can chase mastery. You can chase applause or you can chase results. And the reality is simple. Nobody cares about the process. Nobody will applaud your early mornings, your skipped nights, your missed parties. And that's perfect, because it means you get to work when no one is watching. That's where the magic happens. That's where the growth happens. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. You only need to do the work. Look at the people you admire. The athletes, the artists, the entrepreneurs. Do you think they became great because people were clapping for them? No. They became great because they repeated the work over and over. They practiced when nobody was watching. They studied when nobody cared. They built skills nobody noticed. And slowly, quietly, the world caught up. That's the key. The invisible work wins. Every single time. Let's make it real. If you want to become an expert at anything, it starts with the smallest, most consistent actions. Write the words every day. Practice the scales every day. Make the calls every day. Improve your craft every day. You do not need recognition for this. You do not need validation for this. You do it because it matters. Do it when no one sees. Do it because it matters. Repeat it. Repeat it every day. That's how you win. Here's another truth. When you focus on proving, you are actually slowing yourself down. Trying to impress everyone else takes time. Trying to be liked, to be validated, to be admired, it's energy you could spend building your craft. And while you are distracted, someone else is quietly doing the work. Someone else is quietly learning, quietly practicing, quietly improving. And eventually, their results will speak louder than your self-promotion ever could. That's the harsh reality. That's the key. You have a choice. You can be loud or you can be effective. You can be seen or you can be respected. The visible path is easier. The unseen path is harder. And yet, the unseen path is the only one that leads to extraordinary outcomes. That's why it's called the unseen years, because what you do now, when no one is watching, determines what you become later, when the world will finally notice. Here's a simple practice you can start today. Take one thing you are trying to improve. One skill. One habit. One goal. And do it in silence. Do it privately. Remove the audience. Remove the distractions. Do it every day, even when it feels invisible, even when it feels pointless, even when nobody is acknowledging it. Because this is the invisible foundation for your future. This is how discipline works. This is how habits become mastery. And the repetition is everything. You will fail. You will doubt. You will ask yourself, why bother if nobody sees? That's exactly why it works. The moment you stop seeking approval is the moment you gain freedom. The moment you embrace quiet effort is the moment you build power. The moment you commit to doing when no one sees is the moment you step into your unseen years. Repeat after me, do it when no one sees. Do it because it matters. Say it again. Do it when no one sees. Do it because it matters. Let it sink in. Let it guide you. Here's a final point. Proving is addictive. Validation is a trap. Likes, compliments, recognition, they are instant and fleeting. Discipline is the opposite. Discipline is invisible. Discipline is quiet. Discipline is painful at first, but it compounds. Every day, every week, every month, every year, the effort you put in when no one is watching becomes the results that everyone eventually sees. That's the secret. That's the hidden power of the unseen years. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. You only need yourself. You have a choice. Stop proving. Start doing. Focus on the work. Build habits no one notices. Practice when it's inconvenient. Commit when it's uncomfortable. Repetition is your ally. Patience is your weapon. Discipline is your invisible force multiplier. And when the world finally sees, it will feel effortless. But you know the truth, you earned it quietly in silence in the unseen years. You mastered your desire for attention. You embraced doing over proving. You built the foundation no one could take away. And now you're ready to move deeper. You've proven nothing to anyone, but you've proven everything to yourself. And that's the point. Now let's talk about the true currency of your life, time and focus. Chapter 2, The Silent Cost of Instant Gratification. You live in a world that rewards instant satisfaction. Notifications, likes, rewards, and applause are everywhere. We've been trained to want everything now, to seek pleasure before patience, to chase the short-term thrill instead of the long-term win. And it's killing your potential. That's the key. You have a choice. You can give in to the temporary or you can commit to the permanent. You don't need anyone's approval to delay gratification. You don't need permission to prioritize long-term results over short-term pleasures. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is what you do while the world is chasing the quick fix. Let's be clear. Instant gratification is a trap. Athletes who skip practice because they want comfort today will never become champions tomorrow. Entrepreneurs who quit before their systems are fully built will never see the compounding rewards of persistence. Students who scroll social media instead of learning will fall behind their peers who embrace the grind. This is the silent cost of short-term thinking. And it's enormous. You have a choice. Delay the pleasure. Accelerate the results. Say it out loud. Delay the pleasure. Accelerate the results. Repeat it. Delay the pleasure. Accelerate the results. This is not a suggestion. It is a strategy. It is a weapon. It is what separates those who settle from those who conquer. Look at history. Every legendary performer, every great leader, every innovator, they understood this truth. Warren Buffett lived simply for decades, delaying lifestyle gratification to build an empire. Serena Williams trained tirelessly, sacrificing comfort, friends, and immediate pleasure to dominate tennis. Steve Jobs and Apple built systems that took years to mature before the world even noticed. The common denominator? They delayed gratification. They invested in the unseen years. And their patience created results no instant reward could ever provide. You have a choice. You can chase the dopamine hit today, or you can build wealth, skill, and influence that lasts a lifetime. You don't need their applause. You don't need immediate recognition. You only need discipline. You only need patience. You only need repetition. The work you do in silence compounds faster than the attention you seek in public. That's the key. Here's how it works. Short-term pleasure is seductive because it feels good now. Watching Netflix instead of studying. Skipping the gym because you feel tired. Eating the junk food because it tastes amazing. It gives immediate satisfaction, but it steals the results you could earn tomorrow. Each time you choose the instant reward over long-term effort, you're borrowing from your future success. And eventually the interest comes due. That's the silent cost. You have a choice. You can accept the cost or you can refuse it. You can delay the pleasure. Accelerate the results. Repeat it. Let it echo in your mind. Let it guide your decisions. Let it create a habit that cannot be broken. Every time you say no to instant gratification, you are saying yes to your future self. You are investing in power that compounds quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. That's the key. Now let's get practical. How do you train yourself to resist the immediate reward? First, identify the temptations that steal your time, your focus, and your energy. Social media, excessive entertainment, procrastination, even people who drain you. Second, replace them with micro-habits that serve your long-term vision. 10 minutes of focused learning instead of scrolling. 1 extra set at the gym instead of giving up. 1 email or call that builds relationships instead of avoiding it. Third, reinforce the behavior. Repeat the mantra, delay the pleasure. Accelerate the results. Every day, every decision, every action. The reality is harsh. Most people will never delay gratification. Most people will give in to the immediate. And most people will wonder why they never reach the heights they dream about. Don't be them. Don't fall for the trap. Discipline is your superpower. Patience is your advantage. Repetition is your secret weapon. These are invisible forces that compound in ways you cannot see. And when the world finally sees your results, it will look effortless. But you will know the truth. You earned it in silence in the unseen years. You have a choice. You can conform to the culture of instant gratification, or you can reject it. You can accept comfort now, or you can demand excellence later. You can chase the fleeting dopamine hit, or you can build a legacy. Repeat it one more time. Delay the pleasure. Accelerate the results. Say it again. Delay the pleasure. Accelerate the results. Make it your mantra. Make it your mindset. Make it your standard. Here's another truth most people don't understand. The delayed path is uncomfortable. The unseen work is boring. The progress is invisible. And that's exactly why it works. The moment it's easy, everyone will be doing it. But the moment it's difficult, you will be building the edge that separates you from the crowd. That's why this chapter matters. That's why the unseen years exist. The silent sacrifice you make today is the invisible force that propels you toward extraordinary results tomorrow. Let me make it personal. You want the life you imagine. You want the skills, the influence, the wealth, the freedom. But every time you choose immediate comfort, you are postponing that life. Every time you trade long-term growth for short-term pleasure, you are setting yourself back. Every skipped session, every wasted hour, every mindless scroll is interest you pay on the debt of your future success. And that debt compounds until you face it. That's the silent cost of instant gratification. You have a choice. Delay the pleasure. Accelerate the results. You don't need their approval. You don't need permission. You only need yourself. Decide today. Commit today. Repeat every day. This is the mental edge the winners exploit, the secret behind the elite, and the discipline that nobody sees. Remember, the unseen work today will show up as unstoppable results tomorrow. That's the key. You trained your patience. You built the invisible edge. You learned to reject the fleeting thrill and embrace the long-term reward. Now you're ready to handle setbacks, failures, and resistance like a master. You're ready to turn adversity into silent strength. Chapter 3. Build habits they won't applaud. Most people want results without the grind. They want success without the daily repetition. They want applause without the effort. That's not how life works. Real transformation is quiet. Real power is invisible. The habits you build in private are the foundation of everything you will ever achieve. That's the key. You have a choice. You can chase recognition or you can build mastery. You don't need the crowd to cheer for your discipline. You don't need approval to show up every day. The world will rarely notice your early mornings, your consistent work, or your small, repeated actions. And that's perfect, because it means you get to work without distraction. You get to work without pressure. You get to build habits that nobody will applaud, and those are the habits that create unstoppable momentum. Let's take an example. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time. Do you think he got there by chasing validation or showing off? No. Buffett spends hours every single day reading and studying investments. Every day. Not for applause. Not for attention. not for recognition, for knowledge, for discipline, for mastery. And over decades, these private habits turned into billions of dollars, influence, and legendary results. That's the power of habits nobody notices. That's the key. You have a choice. Build habits they won't applaud. Repeat it. Build habits they won't applaud. Make it your mantra. Let it guide every decision. These habits might feel small, unimportant, even invisible at first. They might feel boring. But the compounding effect is unstoppable. What you do consistently in silence determines the results you see publicly. That's the invisible engine behind all extraordinary success. Think about it like this. Small actions repeated daily become identity. If you read 30 minutes every day, you become a reader. If you exercise 30 minutes every day, you become fit. If you invest 30 minutes every day in your craft, you become exceptional. Nobody will notice at first. Nobody will comment. Nobody will applaud. And that's fine. That's exactly how it works. The unseen effort is where mastery is built. That's the key. Here's the reality most people ignore. Habits are not glamorous. They don't make you feel famous. They don't make people like you. But they make you strong, capable, and unstoppable. Every choice you make to repeat your habit, whether you feel like it or not, is a vote for the person you are becoming. That's the power of private discipline. That's the unseen work that compounds. And repetition is everything. You have a choice. Show up or don't. Build or break. Repeat or quit. You don't need their permission to do what matters. You don't need applause to keep going. Every morning you stick to your system. Every evening you review your progress. Every hour you invest in your craft. You are winning quietly. You are building the invisible momentum that will one day manifest as results the world cannot ignore. That's the key. Let's break it down with a practical framework. Choose one core habit. Focus on one action that, if repeated daily, will move the needle in your life. It could be reading, exercise, journaling, coding, or practice in your craft. Less is more. Pick one and commit. Do it privately. Don't announce it on social media. Don't tell friends. Don't seek validation. Do it when no one sees. Because the moment it's public, it becomes about approval, not discipline. And that destroys momentum. Repeat, reinforce, and track. Make it visible to yourself. Cross off days on a calendar. Review progress weekly. Repeat the habit every day without fail. This repetition creates identity. This repetition builds unstoppable momentum. Here's a truth most people refuse to accept. You cannot outsource habits. You cannot borrow discipline from someone else. You cannot fake consistency. Every habit you build in private is a personal investment. Every habit ignored is a lost opportunity. You have a choice. Build or ignore. Repeat or quit. And your future depends on the choice you make today. That's the key. You will face resistance. You will feel tired, bored, or unmotivated. You will want the applause, the recognition, the external reward. Ignore it. That's the trap. What matters is showing up consistently in private when no one is watching. That's the unseen effort that compounds into greatness. That's the work that separates the average from the exceptional. Repeat it. Build habits they won't applaud. Build habits they won't applaud. Let it echo in your mind. Let it guide every action. Let it become your identity. Remember this. Momentum is invisible at first. You may not feel it. You may not see it. You may not hear anyone talking about it. But every time you stick to your habit, every time you invest in yourself without recognition, every time you repeat the discipline that nobody sees, you are building a machine that cannot be stopped. That is the secret power of the unseen years. That is the invisible engine that creates results that last a lifetime. That's the key. Here's a challenge for you. Identify the one habit you will commit to today. Make it private. Make it consistent. Do it even when it's uncomfortable. Do it even when no one notices. And repeat it every single day. Because this habit will compound into momentum you cannot imagine. Every champion, every legend, every high achiever has done exactly this. They built habits the world didn't see. They built the foundation before the recognition. And that foundation is what allowed them to dominate. You have a choice. You can chase applause, or you can chase mastery. You can wait for others to notice, or you can invest in the unseen. You can take the easy route of instant validation, or you can embrace the invisible work that compounds into unstoppable momentum. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need their applause. You only need discipline, consistency, and patience. That's the key. You trained your patience in Chapter 2. You delayed gratification. Now you're building momentum with habits that nobody applauds. You are mastering the invisible. And soon the world will notice, not because you sought attention, but because you earned results. Chapter 4. Embrace the invisible grind. True mastery is never glamorous. True mastery is not flashy. True mastery is not measured in applause, likes, or recognition. It is built quietly. It is built consistently. It is built in the repetition no one sees. That's the key. You have a choice. You can chase recognition, or you can chase results. You can focus on what the world notices, or you can focus on what truly matters. You don't need anyone to validate your effort. You don't need anyone to acknowledge your process. You only need to embrace the grind, the invisible grind, because it is the grind nobody sees that shapes the person who eventually dominates. Repeat it. The grind you embrace in silence makes noise in your results. Let's be real. Most people want shortcuts. Most people want instant results. Most people quit when the work feels invisible. But the truth is harsh. Mastery does not come from shortcuts. Mastery does not come from occasional effort. Mastery comes from thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of repetitions over days, months, and years. And the world will rarely notice until the results are undeniable. That's the key. Look at Olympic athletes. They don't win gold medals in a day. They don't dominate competitions because of talent alone. They dominate because they embrace the invisible grind. A gymnast perfects the same motion hundreds of thousands of times. A swimmer repeats the same stroke countless hours in the pool. A sprinter runs the same laps until their legs feel like lead. Nobody applauds the thousands of hours before the spotlight. Nobody sees the sweat, the pain, the boredom, the discomfort. And that's why it works. The grind you embrace in silence makes noise in your results. Say it again. The grind you embrace in silence makes noise in your results. You have a choice. You can quit when it's hard, or you can persist when it's invisible. You can take the easy, public path, or you can embrace the difficult, private one. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is what you do when no one is watching. Every hour you spend grinding silently compounds into skills, habits, and momentum the world will eventually notice. That's the invisible edge. That's the unseen advantage. That's the key. Let's make it practical. How do you embrace the invisible grind? First, commit to repetition. Show up daily without excuses. Every day counts, even when it feels pointless. Second, remove the need for validation. Stop seeking applause or acknowledgement. Do the work because it matters. Third, measure progress privately. Track your repetitions, your improvements, your mastery. The world will notice eventually, but your growth depends on your consistency, not external approval. Repeat it. The grind you embrace in silence makes noise in your results. Here's another truth most people ignore. The grind is uncomfortable. It's boring. It's repetitive. You will feel tired. You will feel doubt. You will ask yourself why you are doing it. And that's exactly why it works. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But because it is hard, because it is invisible, because it is repetitive, it compounds into something no one else can replicate. That is the power of the unseen years. That is the strength of the invisible grind. Repeat it. The grind you embrace in silence makes noise in your results. Think about your own life. How often do you quit when the work is invisible? How often do you stop practicing when nobody is watching? How often do you choose comfort over growth? That hesitation costs you more than you realize. Every skipped hour, every avoided repetition, every excuse is interest you pay on the debt of your future results. And that debt compounds silently until you face it. That's the cost. And you have a choice. Pay it or avoid it. Embrace the invisible grind or settle for mediocrity. Here's the mental framework to adopt today. Commit to invisible effort. Focus on the work that nobody notices. Make it your priority. Focus on mastery, not recognition. Skills compound silently. Results will show up later. Applause is irrelevant. Repeat every day. No excuses. No breaks. No shortcuts. Repetition is your invisible leverage. You don't need their approval. You don't need validation. You don't need anyone to understand. You only need to show up consistently and do the work. You only need to embrace the invisible grind. That's the key. That's how champions are made. That's how legacies are built. That's how ordinary effort becomes extraordinary outcomes. Repeat it one more time. The grind you embrace in silence makes noise in your results. Here's the reality. Embracing the invisible grind is lonely. It is uncomfortable. It is tedious. And it is necessary. Every time you persist when no one is watching, every time you perfect your craft in silence, you are building the momentum that will eventually overwhelm anyone who doubts you. That's how results become undeniable. That's how mastery becomes visible. That's the secret of the unseen years. The grind you embrace in silence makes noise in your results. You have a choice. You can chase shortcuts or you can embrace repetition. You can seek recognition or you can seek mastery. You can quit when it's invisible or you can persist and build the momentum that lasts a lifetime. The grind is yours. The effort is yours. The results will eventually be yours. Repeat the mantra, internalize it, and act on it every day. The grind you embrace in silence makes noise in your results. You have trained your patience. You have delayed gratification. You have built habits the world didn't applaud. Now you are ready to embrace the grind that nobody sees. You are ready to put in the hours, the days, and the years that will make the results inevitable. You are ready to transform invisible effort into visible outcomes. Chapter 5. The Power of Micro Wins. Most people overlook the smallest victories. They chase big breakthroughs, massive results, overnight success. They ignore the small, consistent actions that actually shape their future. That's the problem. The key to extraordinary results is not one giant leap. It's hundreds, thousands, even millions of small wins repeated consistently. That's the secret. Repeat it. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. You have a choice. You can wait for a big break or you can start winning quietly every single day. You don't need recognition. You don't need validation. You only need to do the small things that build your identity, your skill, and your momentum. Every small victory compounds. Every tiny action adds up. And over time, those micro wins become unstoppable results. That's the key. Let's be practical. Writers know this. Great authors don't wait for inspiration. They write 500 words a day. Every day. Some days are hard. Some days feel pointless. Some days nobody reads their work. But the habit of writing consistently compounds into finished novels, published books, and extraordinary careers. Every small word written is a vote for the writer you are becoming. Repeat it. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. Investors know this too. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's built one small investment at a time, one disciplined saving at a time. Someone who invests $50 a week may not feel wealthy at first. But over years, those small, consistent deposits become substantial. The power isn't in the size of the action, it's in the repetition. The micro wins compound. And eventually results explode. Repeat it. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. You have a choice. You can ignore the small steps and hope for big results, or you can embrace daily victories, no matter how insignificant they seem. You don't need applause for completing a single task. You don't need recognition for sticking to your plan. The reward is the habit, the identity, the momentum you are building. Every micro win reinforces discipline. Every micro win strengthens focus. Every micro win compounds into extraordinary outcomes. That's the key. Here's how to start applying micro wins in your life today. Break big goals into small actions. Don't aim to write a novel today. Aim for 500 words. Don't aim to get rich. Aim to save or invest a small amount consistently. Small steps are easier to repeat and repetition is everything. Track every small victory. Cross off the days on a calendar. Record your progress. Celebrate quietly. This reinforces the behavior. It reinforces identity. It reinforces discipline. Repeat it. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. Stack your micro wins. Small victories build momentum. One habit leads to another. One success compounds into multiple wins. Over time, the effect is exponential. The results will surprise you. Most people underestimate the power of consistency. They chase the big moment, the viral idea, the instant breakthrough. But life doesn't reward short bursts. Life rewards persistence. Life rewards consistency. Life rewards the repetition of small, intelligent actions. That's why micro wins matter. That's why the unseen years exist. That's why your daily quiet effort is more powerful than 1,000 flashy attempts. Repeat it. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. Think about your identity. Who are you becoming? Every small action reinforces it. Every micro win signals to your brain, your habits, your subconscious. This is who I am. Writers who write every day become writers. Entrepreneurs who take daily disciplined action become successful business owners. Investors who save consistently become wealthy. You become what you repeat. That's the key. You have a choice. You can ignore the small wins and wait for recognition, or you can build unstoppable momentum quietly, one action at a time. You can focus on big results, or you can master the process that produces results consistently. You don't need their approval. You don't need their applause. You only need the discipline to act consistently in small ways that matter. Repeat it. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. Here's a truth most people refuse to see. Micro wins are invisible at first. They feel small. They feel insignificant. They feel like nothing is happening. But this is exactly why they work. If it felt powerful immediately, everyone would do it. The true power lies in repetition, in consistency, in compounding. Every small victory is a building block for results nobody sees coming. Repeat it. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. Let's make it personal. Pick one habit you want to build. One goal you want to achieve. Now break it into micro wins. Write 500 words a day. Save $10 a day. Practice one small skill daily. Track it. Repeat it. Do it consistently. No excuses. No recognition needed. No applause. The work compounds. Momentum builds. And eventually the results will be undeniable. That's the power of micro wins. That's the edge the winners exploit. That's the secret of the unseen years. You have trained your patience. You have embraced invisible effort. You have embraced the grind. Now you are learning the power of small victories. You are learning that momentum is built quietly, daily, through micro wins. You are learning that extraordinary results are not accidents. They are the result of repeated, disciplined, small actions that nobody applauds at first. Repeat it. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. You have a choice. Ignore the micro wins or embrace them. Focus on the small actions that reinforce your discipline, identity, and momentum. Build them quietly, daily, consistently. Let your habits compound into results that the world will eventually see. That's how ordinary effort becomes extraordinary outcomes. That's how the unseen years transform your life. Repeat it one final time. Tiny actions create seismic shifts. Chapter 6. Cut out the noise, focus on your work. The world is loud. Opinions are everywhere. Notifications, social media, gossip, advice. Most of it doesn't matter. And yet, most people let it control their lives. Most people let distractions steal their time, their focus, and their momentum. That's the problem. That's why most people never achieve extraordinary results. The unseen years are wasted listening to everyone else. That's the key. You have a choice. You can listen to the noise or you can focus on your work. You can chase validation or you can chase mastery. You don't need approval. You don't need applause. You only need the discipline to concentrate. You only need the courage to execute. Repeat it. Less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. Distractions are everywhere. They feel harmless at first. Checking social media for 5 minutes, watching a quick video, responding to opinions. But these small interruptions add up. They steal hours, days, weeks, even months. And the cost is invisible. Nobody sees the time you lost scrolling. Nobody applauds the hours you didn't invest in your craft. But you feel it. Your progress slows. Your unseen years slip away. That's the cost of noise. Look at innovators and high performers. The people you admire didn't get there by listening to everyone else. They avoided the noise. They rejected peer pressure. They minimized distractions. Steve Jobs famously ignored critics and focused on building what he believed in. Elon Musk avoids the social media circus and prioritizes work that matters. J.K. Rowling ignored doubters while completing Harry Potter. These people understood one truth: focus multiplies results. Distraction dilutes them. Repeat it: less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. You have a choice. You can let the world dictate your focus, or you can dictate your own. You can let others' opinions steer your decisions, or you can steer your own path. You can scroll, chat, and gossip, or you can execute, learn, and improve. And the difference is everything. The unseen years you protect from distraction are the years your skills, habits, and momentum compound. That's the key. Here's how to cut out the noise. Identify distractions. Write down everything that steals your attention but does not move you forward. Social media, unnecessary calls, irrelevant opinions, meetings that don't matter. Awareness is the first step. Set boundaries. Limit access to distractions. Schedule deep work. Silence notifications. Protect your time like it's gold, because it is. The unseen years are earned in uninterrupted focus. Prioritize action over validation. Stop talking about your goals. Stop asking for approval. Stop waiting for permission. Do the work. Execute consistently. Results will speak. Repeat it: less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. Most people fail because they confuse activity with progress. They are busy but not productive. They are loud but not effective. They seek attention instead of mastery. But the truth is simple. Momentum is built in quiet, deliberate work. Execution matters. Noise does not. The people who cut out the noise, protect their unseen years, and focus relentlessly are the people who succeed. That's the key. Repeat it: less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. You have a choice. You can join the crowd of distracted people, endlessly consuming opinions, advice, and entertainment, or you can be different. You can focus. You can execute. You can prioritize actions that matter. The unseen years are where results are created, and those years are stolen by noise, approval seeking, and distraction. Protect your time. Protect your focus. Protect your unseen years. Let's make it practical. Every morning, identify your top 3 priorities for the day. Nothing else matters until those 3 tasks are completed. Remove distractions until they are done. Work in blocks of deep focus. Ignore opinions that do not serve your vision. Reject input that doesn't accelerate your results. The world may talk. The world may judge. But your progress will compound in silence. Repeat it: less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. Here's a truth most people struggle to accept. Cutting out the noise is uncomfortable. You will feel isolated. You will feel disconnected. You will feel like you are missing out. And that's exactly why it works. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Approval is the enemy of independence. Noise is the enemy of focus. Every moment you resist distraction, every moment you prioritize execution, every moment you act without permission, you strengthen your unseen years. That's the key. Repeat it: less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. Think about your life. How often do you let noise dictate your actions? How often do you chase validation instead of results? How often do you sacrifice focus for comfort or connection? Every hour of wasted attention is interest you pay on the debt of your future success. But here's the good news: you have a choice. You can reclaim that time. You can reclaim your focus. You can reclaim your unseen years. You can execute in silence, consistently, relentlessly. That's how extraordinary outcomes are created. Repeat it: less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. Here's the challenge. For the next week, identify your biggest distraction and cut it out completely. Reduce social media, ignore unnecessary opinions, avoid meaningless meetings. Protect your time. Guard your unseen years. Focus on the work that matters. Execute consistently. Repeat the mantra, less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. You have trained your patience, delayed gratification, built invisible habits, embraced the grind, and celebrated micro wins. Now you are ready to cut out the noise. Now you are ready to focus on your craft. Now you are ready to execute without apology, without validation, without distraction. This is how the unseen years are protected. This is how ordinary effort becomes extraordinary results. Repeat it one final time. Less talk, more action. Less approval, more execution. Chapter 7. Measure progress in patience, not praise. The world is obsessed with instant recognition. Likes, compliments, applause, they make people feel accomplished. But real mastery is not measured by public praise. Real mastery is measured by effort compounded over time, patience, and consistency. That's the key. You have a choice. You can chase applause or you can chase results. You can wait for recognition or you can invest in invisible work. You don't need anyone's validation to grow. You don't need anyone to notice your effort. You only need to persist. You only need to measure progress by your patience, not by praise. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. Look at the people you admire. Most of them spent years working in silence. J.K. Rowling wrote the Harry Potter series for years before publishing. Nobody read the early drafts. Nobody applauded the effort. She faced rejection after rejection. Yet she persisted. She measured progress by patience, by refining her craft, by completing the work, not by praise. And eventually the results were undeniable. That's the power of delayed effort. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. Most people quit too early. They expect immediate results. They want applause before they've built skill. They measure progress by recognition rather than effort. And when it doesn't come, they give up. That's why most people never achieve extraordinary outcomes. You have a choice. Follow the crowd chasing praise or invest in patience, consistency, and long-term effort. That's the key. Here's how to measure progress in patience, not praise. Track your effort, not validation. Focus on what you do, not on what others notice. Did you write today? Did you practice today? Did you take steps toward your goal? That's what matters. Celebrate invisible milestones. Completing a draft, mastering a skill, finishing a practice session. These are victories the world may never see, but they compound over time into mastery. Trust the process. Patience is the currency of skill and achievement. Talent alone will not create sustained results. Consistent, patient effort always outperforms raw ability when compounded over time. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. Let's be practical. If you want to become excellent at anything, stop measuring success by external validation. Stop asking, did anyone notice? Stop comparing yourself to others who are either lucky or further along. Instead, focus on your work. Focus on the repetitions. Focus on the long-term trajectory. Progress is invisible at first, and that's exactly why it works. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. Think about athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs. They spend years training, creating, testing, and refining. Nobody applauds the thousands of hours, the early failures, the small improvements. And that's why the work is powerful. The moment the results appear, it looks effortless to the outside world, but you know the truth. You know the patience. You know the effort. That's the key. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. You have a choice. You can measure progress by the fleeting attention of others, or you can measure it by the accumulation of patient effort. You can chase instant recognition, or you can embrace the invisible trajectory of growth. You can chase applause, or you can chase mastery. Every small, consistent effort you take today compounds silently. That compounding eventually becomes results nobody can ignore. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. Here's the truth most people resist. Patience is uncomfortable. Waiting, refining, improving without immediate feedback feels boring. It feels slow. Feels frustrating. But every hour you commit to disciplined work, every repetition you do without applause, every day you persist despite being unseen, you are building leverage that grows exponentially. That's the unseen advantage. That's how ordinary effort becomes extraordinary outcomes. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. Let's make it practical for you. Pick a goal. Don't measure it by who notices. Don't measure it by who applauds. Measure it by your daily effort. Did you write 500 words? Did you study for an hour? Did you practice your skill? That's progress. Celebrate that privately. Track it. Repeat it consistently. Over months and years, those micro-actions compounded by patience will produce results that far exceed any short-term recognition. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. Here's a mental exercise. Imagine your future self, the person you want to become. They didn't get there by chasing praise. They got there by showing up, day after day, week after week, year after year, when nobody was watching. They trusted the process. They trusted their patience. They ignored distraction. They focused on execution. And eventually, results manifested that made their effort undeniable. Repeat it. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. You have trained your habits, your grind, your micro wins, and your focus. Now you are ready to measure your progress by patience. Now you are ready to trust delayed effort over instant recognition. Now you are ready to embrace the unseen years as the true foundation of mastery. Every effort you make in silence, every step you take without applause, every patient repetition compounds into results that are unstoppable. Repeat it one final time. Patience compounds faster than talent alone. Chapter 8. Turn setbacks into silent strength. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is the laboratory. Failure is the training ground for resilience. But most people panic at the first sign of it. Most people quit when nobody is watching. Most people let setbacks define their story. That's the difference between ordinary results and extraordinary mastery. The unseen years are forged in failure. That's the key. You have a choice. You can fear failure or you can learn from it. You can avoid mistakes or you can embrace them. You don't need recognition to fail. You don't need approval to stumble. You only need the courage to persist, to experiment, and to grow. Repeat it. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. Look at Thomas Edison. The world remembers him as the inventor of the light bulb. Few remember the 10,000 attempts he made before success. Each failure was a step, a lesson, an experiment. He didn't quit because the work was invisible. He didn't stop because nobody celebrated his mistakes. He persisted. He learned. He improved. And eventually the results were undeniable. That's the power of silent resilience. Repeat it. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. Most people treat failure as an endpoint. They let it define them. They let it discourage them. They let it become an excuse to stop trying. But failure is not an endpoint. It is a tool. It is information. It is fuel. Every mistake, every rejection, every setback is a brick in the foundation of mastery, if you use it correctly. Repeat it. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. Here's how to turn setbacks into silent strength. Reframe failure. Don't see it as defeat. See it as data, as feedback, as part of your learning curve. Every misstep teaches you something you didn't know before. Persist in silence. You don't need to broadcast every mistake. You don't need approval or validation for your experiments. Work quietly, adjust, and try again. Analyze, adapt, repeat. Each setback is an opportunity to improve. Break down what went wrong. Correct your approach. Apply the lesson. Repeat. Repeat it. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. Let's make it personal. Think of your last setback. How did you respond? Did you complain? Did you give up? Did you wait for recognition to make it worth it? Or did you use it as a tool to get stronger, smarter, and more prepared? The difference is the mindset. The difference is resilience cultivated quietly, invisibly, in the unseen years. Repeat it. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. You have a choice. You can hide from setbacks or you can embrace them. You can let criticism or rejection defeat you, or you can use it as a guide. You can quit when nobody sees or you can persist when nobody notices. Every time you persist in silence, you are building invisible strength. Every time you fail and keep going, you are compounding resilience. That's the key. Here's another truth most people ignore. Success often looks effortless, but it is built on invisible failure. Every great achievement is a product of repeated mistakes, silent adjustments, and relentless effort behind the scenes. Nobody saw Edison's 10,000 attempts. Nobody applauded Rowling's early drafts. Nobody noticed the countless hours athletes spent refining technique after mistakes. And that's exactly why it works. Repeat it. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. Think about your own journey. How often do you fear failure? How often do you avoid the hard path because nobody is watching? How often do you give up before your effort compounds into mastery? Every avoided setback is a missed opportunity to build strength. Every ignored lesson is wasted potential. But here's the good news. You have a choice. You can start turning setbacks into silent strength today. Repeat it. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. Practical steps to implement today. When you fail, write down what went wrong and what you learned. Make it actionable. Treat each mistake as a private experiment in growth. Nobody needs to see it. Nobody needs to celebrate it. Commit to trying again, smarter and stronger. Do not quit. Persist. Repeat quietly. Repeat it. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. You have trained patience, delayed gratification, built micro wins, embraced the invisible grind, and focused on execution. Now you are ready to handle setbacks. Now you are ready to transform failure into invisible strength. Now you are ready to turn mistakes into momentum that compounds over time. This is how the unseen years protect you, refine you, and prepare you for extraordinary results. Repeat it one final time. Every failure unseen builds the foundation for visible victory. Chapter 9. Surround yourself with the unseen. You are the sum of the people, spaces, and systems you surround yourself with. Your environment is either your ally or your enemy. Most people underestimate this. They chase discipline while staying in toxic, loud, or distracting circles. That's why most silent effort fails to compound. The unseen years are fragile. They need protection. That's the key. You have a choice. You can stay in a chaotic environment, or you can curate one that supports your growth. You can let opinions, habits, and distractions dictate your path, or you can deliberately surround yourself with people, routines, and spaces that amplify your unseen work. You don't need approval. You don't need applause. You only need alignment. Repeat it. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. Look at top performers. They don't leave success to chance. They intentionally choose mentors who have walked the path. They build routines that reinforce discipline. They create spaces that reduce distraction and increase focus. Warren Buffett spends most of his day reading quietly, in a controlled environment that protects his focus. Elon Musk surrounds himself with teams that execute without drama. Every silent choice compounds over time. Repeat it. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. Most people underestimate the power of association. They think talent alone will carry them. They think effort alone is enough. But environment is leverage. If your peers gossip, procrastinate, or chase validation, you absorb it, even unconsciously. If your workspace is cluttered, chaotic, or reactive, your focus suffers. But if your environment aligns with your silent discipline, it multiplies. That's the key. Repeat it. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. Here's how to create an environment that amplifies unseen growth. Cure your people. Surround yourself with those who embody the habits, values, and mindset you want. Distance yourself from constant critics, energy drainers, or those who chase applause over discipline. Design your routines. Build daily rituals that reinforce silent effort. Morning habits, scheduled focus blocks, and reflection sessions all protect your unseen years. Control your spaces. Your environment should remove distractions and signal seriousness. Whether it's a tidy workspace, a library, or a dedicated practice area, make your environment a silent partner in your discipline. Repeat it. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. Think about this. Your environment will either accelerate or sabotage your unseen years. If you are surrounded by people who gossip, complain, or seek instant recognition, your discipline will erode. If your routines reward distraction, your momentum will falter. If your spaces invite chaos, your focus will fracture. But when you curate mentors, routines, and spaces that align with your vision, your silent effort compounds faster than you imagine. Repeat it. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. You have a choice. You can remain passive, absorbing the habits and distractions of your environment, or you can be deliberate. You can actively select the influences, the routines, and the spaces that protect your unseen years. You can choose growth over noise. You can choose quiet progress over validation. Every small adjustment compounds into invisible leverage that propels you forward. That's the key. Repeat it. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. Practical steps to implement today. Identify one person who inspires the habits and mindset you want. Connect with them, learn from them, observe them. Audit your daily routine. Remove one distraction and replace it with a habit that reinforces invisible growth. Adjust your workspace to support focus. Declutter, organize, and designate zones for deep work. Most people neglect these adjustments because they seem invisible. They say, it doesn't matter. But environment compounds just like habits. Just like micro wins. Just like patience. The quiet circle you cultivate today will determine your results tomorrow. Repeat it. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. Remember, the unseen years are vulnerable. They require protection from noise, distraction, and toxic influence. They thrive when nurtured by aligned mentors, purposeful routines, and supportive spaces. Every choice you make in designing your environment multiplies the returns of your silent discipline. Repeat it. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. You have trained your patience, your habits, your micro wins, your focus, your resilience. Now your environment becomes the final lever to maximize unseen growth. Align your circle. Protect your time. Shield your effort. Let your surroundings amplify the results of your discipline. That is the secret of the unseen years. Repeat it one final time. You become what your quiet circle cultivates. Chapter 10. Own your unseen years. Stop apologizing for your silent progress. Stop making excuses for the work nobody sees. Stop justifying the hours, the repetition, the patience, and the discipline you invest quietly. Those unseen years are not a liability, they are your power. That's the key. You have a choice. You can downplay your effort or you can own it. You can hide your discipline or you can embrace it as the foundation of your future results. You don't need recognition today. You don't need approval now. You only need persistence, focus, and relentless action. Repeat it. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. Think about the years you've invested in silence. Every micro win, every repeated habit, every failure you learned from, every moment you chose patience over praise, it all compounds. The unseen years are invisible, yes, but they are also unstoppable. They are leverage. They are the difference between ordinary outcomes and extraordinary mastery. Repeat it. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. Look at every top performer you admire. They didn't broadcast every repetition. They didn't seek validation for every hour spent. They worked in silence. They persisted when nobody noticed. And then, when their results finally appeared, the world couldn't ignore them. That's how you turn invisible effort into visible impact. That's how you make the unseen years unstoppable. Repeat it. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. Most people fear the unseen years. They fear the work without immediate recognition. They fear effort that goes unnoticed. But here's the truth. The unseen years are your advantage. While others chase applause, you build leverage. While others chase shortcuts, you build momentum. While others chase instant gratification, you build mastery. And that mastery, when it finally shows, is undeniable. Repeat it. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. Here's how to claim your unseen years as your power. Own your daily discipline. Stop apologizing for the habits you build privately. Every repetition is an investment. Every small action compounds. You don't need to explain it. Trust the compounding. The unseen years work for you whether anyone notices or not. Every skill, habit, and micro-win builds momentum that eventually explodes into results. Ignore the applause, embrace the results. Recognition will come, but only after effort has compounded into impact. Focus on execution. Focus on mastery. Focus on the work. Repeat it. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. Think about the life you are building. How many people will notice the unseen hours you've invested? Not many. And that's okay. You are not building your life for applause. You are building it for leverage, for freedom, for mastery. You are building it so that eventually, the results speak louder than anything you could say. That's the power of the unseen years. Repeat it. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. Here's the challenge. Stop apologizing for your invisible progress today. Stop comparing yourself to those chasing attention. Stop seeking permission to work silently. Commit fully to your unseen years. Protect them. Guard them. Multiply them. Every hour, every repetition, every disciplined choice adds invisible leverage that the world cannot ignore. Repeat it. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. Let's make it practical. Identify one area where your unseen effort is compounding. Double down. Protect it from distractions. Remove unnecessary approval seeking. Focus relentlessly. Take the quiet action nobody will notice today, but that everyone will eventually see tomorrow. This is how ordinary effort becomes extraordinary results. This is how the unseen years become unstoppable. Repeat it. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. You have trained patience, micro wins, invisible discipline, focus, resilience, and alignment with your environment. You have embraced setbacks, ignored noise, and trusted the compounding of effort. Now you are ready to own your unseen years. This is your power. This is your leverage. This is the foundation of results that no one can ignore. Repeat it one final time. The world will notice your results, not your excuses. And here's a reminder. If you want more strategies to dominate the unseen years and turn silent discipline into unstoppable results, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a lesson in building the habits, mindset, and systems that elite performers use every day. Remember, your work matters, your effort compounds, and your unseen years are your superpower. Own them. Protect them. Multiply them. Execute relentlessly. And eventually, the world will notice your results.